This particular bedside chat is long overdue. I could have done this one many, many months ago, and I probably should have. Um, at the end of, I should say, at the beginning of December of last year, in 2018, I celebrated 22 years clean and sober. I haven't talked a lot about my sobriety because it's such a part of my life now. Like it's not unusual, at 22 years, you would think, well, okay, he should still be sober. But you'll be surprised how many people throw away 20 plus years for different reasons. Most of your triggers are going to be, for those who've ever been to AA, you would know this: people, places, and things. But that gets tricky because some of your things are your jobs, your social gatherings, places that you were always very comfortable being in, but you find out that maybe the only reason you were comfortable being there was because you were not sober. So when you get sober and you have to continue doing some of the things you used to do, it can get to be very difficult. You can find yourself still loving those same things, but not being able to be around the people in those places. So, people, places, and things are trips and triggers to you keeping your sobriety. The other part of staying sober and being sober for this long is your network of support. People that you might have started the journey out, with being sober together are no longer with you. People that were your best friends while you were drinking and drugging can't necessarily be there for you now in your sobriety, and nor can you be there for them because the things that they are doing, the things that you used to love, you can't do anymore because it threatens your sobriety. So it gets to be a catch 22. Being loving and being caring, all of that can be affected because you will be languished by others as not being loving and not being caring. And what you're being is self protective of yourself because you know your triggers. You know the things that will set you off. But at a certain level of sobriety, 5, 15 years in, you can start being around people again who obviously aren't on your trajectory. They are not even trying to be sober, but you can begin to find a place in your heart for them. You can have compassion, you can have understanding, you can be long suffering and patient. But the sad part of that is you can be there for them, but they can't really be there for you. Oh, they may want to be there for you, but if they have to choose between the thing they love to do and you, they're going to choose the thing they love to do every time. And that's going to break your heart. That's going to upset you and make you feel like a second class citizen because you want someone to choose you and certainly choose you over a drug. But that doesn't happen. So you have to do the selfless thing and stay the course and be there for them. You can't make it about yourself. You have to know that sooner or later they might get sober and they're going to understand your sacrifice all the more. But even if that day never comes, you still have to do the right thing. The right thing is you have to be the model of sobriety in the life of someone who doesn't know they need to be sober yet. That's tricky. You have to show them what it looks like to be faithful and determined, even at the risk of not getting what you need from any of those relationships. That's hard because we all desire to be loved and needed and desired. But what if that doesn't come? Especially if it doesn't come from the people that you're investing so much time and effort into. It can get very isolating. So, this bedside chat is not a cheery one. I wish it was. But part of being sober is not just staying dry. The other part of being sober is being clothed in your right mind. You have to get to a place where you stop the stinking thinking. You've heard that. The stinking thinking looks like this. All of the things that used to be your triggers, that used to make you drink or drug or want to be out of reality for just even a briefest moment, obviously now come to you full force, full strength. You can't run from it. You can't hide from it. You have to stand there, sit there, and deal with what you used to drink over. That is the journey of sobriety. And you would think after 5 years or so, you would have addressed everything that would possibly have come up. No. 5 years, you're just scratching the surface. If you've been out there, tearing it up for 20 years, and then you want to get sober for 5 years, you still got some excavation to do. If all of your teenage or young life, you've been drinking and drugging, and all of a sudden you catch yourself sober, you're going back to childhood. There's a lot of things that you missed because you weren't able to really pay attention, but the memories are still there. It's like your brain was taking a movie, but you've yet to view it. Oh, you know the subtitles, you know the highlights, but oh baby, you don't know the details. And when you really start seeing the details, that can be another major trigger. So what is this talk about? This talk is about someone specifically, who is about to give up their sobriety in order to maybe get the job or hang out with the people who give the jobs or even stay in a relationship that you really cherish, but you instinctively know isn't good for you anymore. You may have to make a career change. I mean, in no short time, I'm going to be in college again after starting my college career 44 years ago. And a lot of the reasons I abandoned what I was doing was because I wasn't sober. And so now to go back and to start again or to start over is scary. You're not alone. There's a lot of help and a lot of support. You got to talk to someone. You got to find a few friends, even one friend who will really hear you and really understand you, and then tell the truth. That's the art of being sober. Good morning.